big part of FIS was started as Systematics, which is one of those companies that we invested in and actually started in the late 60s. Dad could see that there was a technology revolution coming, and smaller banks were going to be at a real disadvantage because they were not going to be able to afford the investment necessary in data processing equipment.
The opportunity was somewhat created by the capacity of computing, because you could put one computer center in and operate a number of banks, whereas one bank didn't need all that power.
It was a revolutionary time in data processing.
As we expanded and our software become better and more sophisticated, we serve larger clients.
Systematics became, frankly, an unbelievable selling machine.
We invested $400,000 to start Systematics and never had to put another dime in it. It was always generating cash.
The income we generated, we used to grow the business.
The financial growth of Systematics, averaging 30% a year every year, that's easy to do when you're tiny. It's not so easy to do as you get bigger and bigger, and they continued to do that.
Once we started growing and growing fairly rapidly, then the real problem was having enough people to staff these data centers and to develop this software in a way that would keep it competitive.
They offered me the job to take over Systematics as president and CEO. Systematics then was a 20-year-old company. In early 1990, we were approached by Alltel, who was a local large corporation telephone company, to acquire Systematics. A lot of telephone companies were looking at things to expand into other than just the base telephone business in those days. We took this company from 160 million to 960 million in 8 years. Pretty dramatic growth. I was very proud of that growth, and what I was most proud of is it created a lot of jobs for a lot of terrific people for our company.
Well, I think to grow in the 21st century, you've got to have an environment of entrepreneurs that understand taking risk and understand technology.
When you look at the evolution, not only of the financial services industry here in Little Rock, starting from the early days with Systematics, flowing into the days of Alltel Information Services, and now into FIS Global. And you recognize that the world's leader in their industry and the next generation of what's coming from that company right here in Little Rock from a technological perspective. It's amazing what's happening right before our very eyes.
Well, FIS really started in the technology business in Arkansas, growing to be the leader in banking technology. And so they were really the foundation. FIS's success has really been instrumental in growing Little Rock, Central Arkansas in the technology arena. Since then, of course, we've continued to expand. I'm delighted today that we have almost a micro hub of technology in Arkansas right here in Little Rock, and FIS was a big part of that.
The pace of change has, I think, even accelerated more than that period of the 60s, 70s, 80s, and 90s. I'm sure FIS will continue to meet that challenge very well.